Coast hip hop. And like I say every week, y'all, from the West Coast to the East Coast and everything in between, folks. From Eve After Dark to concerts in the park, you're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. And I'm here again on another Thursday, folks. Last week I was out of here, folks. I was hanging out with some folks from the Universal Hip Hop Museum. We had a big function. They had a big function for BET weekend, and we ended up having a party, and it was right around the time I do my show. I got a lot of dope pictures to show you, but I couldn't be here live. In fact, I was trying to go live from the hotel, didn't quite work out. So today, as an extra special something, I'm waiting on the CEO from the Universal Hip Hop Museum. My man Rocky is coming on live with us today, folks, to talk about the Universal Hip Hop Museum, the construction, the creation, what it's going to have in it, the whole 9 yards. So let's give him a few minutes. He's on East Coast time, and he should be hopefully any second. And in the meantime, folks, we had a hell of a week. BET weekend jumped off this week. We saw a lot of things. A lot of things have changed in the world, especially when it comes to entertainment. I'm not even going to get into that. I'm not even going to, you know what I'm talking about. I ain't got to tell you. I ain't trying to get canceled. I ain't trying to get Facebook jailed. None of that. But you know, things have changed considerably when it comes to the game. We talked about it Tuesday on my other show, and it's just interesting. I'm going to leave it like that. It's just interesting. Okay? You wonder what's going on. You wonder what the purpose is. Anyway, folks, you're live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. Do I have anybody here live? I see one person in the chat room right now. I got one viewer coming in. I'm waiting on my man Rocky from the, I think his name is Bucano, from the Universal Hip Hop Museum. He will be my guest today as soon as he taps in. I'll send him a new link, so he should be here any minute now. I'm going to give him a few minutes like I do everybody. I always give them a little time to get themselves together. I sent him a link yesterday. I sent him an email yesterday. I sent him a link today. He should be here shortly. But that's one of the beauties. The beauty of going live is you have the spontaneity of being live. You can't predict what's going to happen. Sometimes we have some crazy stuff happen. Sometimes we have some technical difficulties. The down part about being live, sometimes people get caught up in traffic, or they just forget. Sometimes it just happens like that. We just forget. So as I sit here and stall for the next few minutes, waiting on my guests to come online, we're gonna keep kicking it for a minute. My man Cerebral Life says we're here. I purchased 2 comic books last night. They just dropped them in the mail. My brother, thank you very much. They just got dropped in the mail. Much love to you. They just got dropped in the mail, autographed, the whole 9 yards. You should have them probably tomorrow, Saturday at the latest, man. Saturday at the latest. I thank you and everybody for the support over the last few weeks. The book, the comic book, the audio book, all that. Much love to everybody, folks. Thank you. I'm gonna give you clap for supporting the Godfather. Appreciate that. Anybody got any questions in the chat room before my guests get here? Anybody got anything they want to tap into? Tap up on right quick before my guests get here? Because normally my man Dusty Vision would do the chat room, but since I'm here, just me and you, waiting on my guests to get here, I'll do the chat room, and I can handle any questions or any concerns, anything y'all want me to talk about right quick, with my opinion on. Let's do this, folks. We got a few people here. Waiting on my man Rocky to get here. Rocky, where you at? My phone is not here. It's being charged. My phone is dead. It's all outdoors. So I had to get it charged. Hopefully he got the messages and he didn't forget about it. Yep. Did you write all your own lyrics? Love Land, Lonzo Land, the song. Lonzo Land, the song. I think I collaborated with the Uzi brothers. I think they might have put a couple of verses in there, if I'm not mistaken, Doc. I usually write most of my own lyrics, but every once in a while, if somebody give me something that's really, really dope, I'll throw it in there. I'm not that selfish. But yeah, most of Lonzo Land came from me, but I think I had some input from the Uzi brothers. You like Lonzo Land, the song? You know, I haven't heard that song in God knows how long. I'm funny like that, man. I'm real funny. once I've created something, I kind of leave it alone. Because after you, if you ever been in the studio and you make a song, you hear it so many times. By the time you get through with the mix and the release party and all playing it for everybody and getting everybody's opinion and thoughts, whatever, I don't know about nobody else. I get kind of burnt out on my own stuff. I got to go back and play that song. Thank you for your for your support. Yes, Uzi Brothers, they work with Def Jeff too. Def Jeff was a good friend of mine. At that time, my house was like house party. Everybody was here. It was just like in house party. Nobody had no real fame. Maybe outside the kid and play. It was the same thing at my house. You had the Uzi Brothers, you had Def Jeff, you had D Barnes, Dre them, Yelling them, Easy them, Warren G, Coolio, DJ Pooh, everybody would be here. So it was no big deal for people to get together and just collaborate on different things. Dre and them really didn't play keyboards at that time. So the Uzi Brothers had a keyboard player and a guitar player and a drummer. So we ever take advantage of their musicianship and making some things happen. So yes. What's up, J. Ross Theory? How you doing, Doc? I ain't seen you in a while, man. You've been good. As I say, you've been good. Last time I talked to you, you just got home. I ain't gonna put your business in the streets, but I keep track of my people now. Yeah, the house, man. You know, the same. I've been here for 30-something years, dude, and it's the same. It's changed in some aspects, but it's still the same in a lot of aspects. And it was the spot for everybody to be at in the early days of West Coast hip hop. That's why I'm the godfather. All right. Who chose the compilation album? I had nothing to do with that whatsoever. That was all DJ Slip. DJ Slip brought me the whole package. In fact, one of the few groups that were not originally in the compilation was CNW. They came while we were doing the project. They came in. Easy turned 8 and Chill on to me, and we were in the process of doing the compilation, and they laid down some vocals for DJ Slip. Next thing I know, it was on the compilation. Yeah, okay, my man J. Ross Theory said, yeah, man, I'm chilling. It's good to be seen. I'm good to see you on the screen too, Doc. Keep your ass at home. I ain't gonna tell them to put your business out the street. Keep your ass at home, okay? Play with them kids, leave them homeboys. What they say? Stay home with your boys. No, leave your homeboys and go home to your boys. Yeah, okay. Let me see here. What else we got here? I see y'all on y'all. Everybody so far is on YouTube. That's cool. Trying to figure out if anybody on a. I got somebody from Twitch and nobody from Facebook. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay. All right, folks. You know how I do it, man. I give everybody at least 15, 20 minutes to be late. I know life sometimes gets in the way of the show. I'm going to stay here another few more minutes. Actually, I got somewhere to be anyway, but I already booked this show, and I know I didn't do it last week. I don't want to lose my momentum. I was supposed to be at another event at 7 o'clock, so 8 o'clock actually. Thought at 6, but I'm going to get my ass up and get dressed, roll down there. If my guests don't get here, might work out to my advantage. Can't say it is. I always love doing my shows, hanging out with my folks, but sometimes you got to go handle some other business. Who else got something for me right quick? Well, we got time to chit chat in the chat room. Tell us about the relationship with R&B artists you know. R&B artists that I know. You know, when you get to tour with people think you become buddies with a lot of artists. You really don't. Because everybody's on different floors. We got sound checks at different times. Every once in a while, we get to hang out with some folks. Probably the folks we hung out with the most was Force MDs. Now, they were singers and dancers of the hip hop era. They really weren't hip hop per se, but those were probably the guys we back in the day we connected with the most. Okay, Jay Ross, my bad. That must be my other boy. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. I'm sorry about that. That's my other boy. Got y'all confused. Um, but yeah, a lot of R&B acts. We played with Surface a lot. We played with Morris Day at the time. But I mean, yeah, Morris Day, not the time. We played with Morris Day. Morris Day don't hang out. He don't hang out. Okay. We played with Surface. I was able to catch up with them recently on Clubhouse. Um, Played with a lot of groups like Barcades. Me and one of the guys from Barcades, we stay in contact. Played with Club Nouveau all the time. J King, we still tight to this day. Um, it was it was different, man, because Wrecking Crew, because we were so new in the game, we toured with a lot of R&B acts. But again, we wasn't getting the respect that we should have got. I mean, the stage we on, man. If you saw the table I'm sitting my computer on right now, the stage we danced with our whole routine on wasn't much bigger than this table right here. But that's because at that time everybody had live drums, keyboards, and amplifiers. Everybody had their own set of drums, own set of keyboards, own set of amplifiers. So as the bands, as the show started off early, the stage would be more and more full. And it wasn't until later on they started having everybody use the same drums and some of the same keyboards. But for us, we had to dance between the monitors sometimes. It was just one of them days. What you think about Biz Markie rumor last night? You know, uh, people got a bad habit of jumping the gun, especially on bad news. I was sad. I know he had a stroke. I know he had some health issues, but they had him almost dead 4 or 5 months ago, and to put that out and he's still alive, that's really not cool at all, man. But that's social media today. Social media, everybody wants to be the first one. Everybody wants to get tweeted and retweeted and liked and shared and get all the attention from somebody else's misfortune. And that's just how the game goes, man. It was really sad that they buried this brother, literally killed him, and he's still alive. Now, I don't know what his condition is. I know no one in this camp whatsoever, but to start a rumor, maybe he not doing that well. Um, but again, to say he was dead and he's still alive, I mean, they did the same thing with Marla Gibbs. Marla Gibbs, the Florence from the Jeffersons. They said she was dead. I got a phone call. You know, Marla Gibbs died. Blah blah blah. And I was at an event the other day. Marla Gibbs was like, she wasn't at the event. She sent a message. I am not dead. I'm here. I mean, I can't come to the event, but I'm alive and well. So, people always want to bury somebody. And, here in the age of social media, it's it's it gets you some likes, it gets you some shares, it gets you some comments. And as y'all know, anybody into social media, that's all good. That's that's why everybody does what they do. That's why everybody clown the way they do on social media, so they can get their views up, get their likes up, get their algorithm generating, and people, if you got a certain status on social media, it makes money for you, and that's what it all boils down to. Somebody getting paid on somebody else's business. All right, that's real talk, folks. That's as real as I can drop it today. Real as I can say it without getting canceled. What else you got for me, folks? Um, Yeah, J. Rowe. I'm sorry, Doc. I'm sorry. I don't want to put. I don't put nobody. Put no black man behind bars unnecessarily. But I know one of my boys. I think that's my other partner that comes on. I ain't seen in a while. He had to go down and have a little mini vacation, courtesy of a county where he lived at. Is how is your documentary coming? Is it coming out soon? Woo! Documentaries. They seem like they're real simple. When I first got into this thing, it seemed like it was gonna be something I can do in a few months. I said, "Nah, man, documentaries take years." I didn't believe it. I did not believe it. I did not. No, man, not that. Not only an hour. You got some interviews, but if you want a good documentary, that's what I'm shooting for. You got to go through all those interviews and clip, cut, and paste, and lay on the timeline the story that 25 people tell. I had about 15 25. I think I had about 20, 25 people actually did my on my on my in my documentary. I mean, Battle Cat, Yella, Richie Rich. I mean, everybody. A lot of old school players in my documentary. So right now we're at about an hour and some change. We're going for an hour and a half with the footage, and we still got a ton of stuff to go through. So when I would like to say September, man. I said September last year. I said September last year. I would love to say September, okay? But the editor is working every day. He sends me clips. I'm sending him different stuff, and we're doing our best to try and knock this thing out because we planned to have it done last year, but of course COVID put a wrench in everything, and it's just slowed the process down tremendously. You know, one of my editors is a teacher and an instructor, and he got obligations, and the other editor is moving slower than I want to. The colorist doing this. I mean, there's so much that goes into these things. To answer your question, it's coming along great. I'm hoping I ain't gonna say September. I'm gonna say the first of 22. I'm gonna say the first of 22. That gives us another 6 months. Because like I said before, I had no idea it would take this long to do a 1 hour project. So that being said, and without something else I'm gonna say, something else I'm gonna say. This is gonna piss some people off, but people pissing me off. So I guess I can re-piss some people off myself. Re-piss, new word. When you reached out to people, when people were trying to do their thing, coming up in the game, and you never told people no, you never made them jump through hoops. You never go. I never had an assistant you had to go through or a manager you had to go through. You always talk to me. Well, I don't care who you were, how big you are today, how small you are. If I know you, just like I'm doing this right now, I go direct to the source. And when you ask people who everybody, the world knows you've been there for them. Hey man, could you say something on my documentary? You get birds chirping. You don't get no response. You don't get a hey man, I'm out of town. Hey dude, I'd love to, but I'm out of the country. Hey dude, I got contractual obligations. I can't do it. Or just hey man, fuck you. I ain't doing that. Okay. I probably would respect that a lot more than just being ignored because I never ignored anybody. My doors have been open for people for decades, and now that people want to put some shine on me, everybody that pats you on the back ain't got nothing to say when it comes time to do the project. Okay, I reached out for everybody. Ain't nobody chirps. I ain't calling no names, but I said everybody. Okay, a handful of people that's really roll with a brother. They've been there from day one, and you'll see them in the documentary. And those who don't see, don't think I didn't ask. Don't think I didn't ask. Okay, I never asked for nothing else before. I won't ask again. I'm just fucked up like that. So y'all gave me a chance to vent on some shit that's really pisses me off. But it is what it is, folks. So have I read Yellow's book? Not yet. Yellow's book, I think it just came out yesterday. I saw a post on Facebook. He just got his first shipment of books in yesterday. So no, I have not read it yet. What up, Derek Mallory? Much love to you, Doc. But knowing Yellow like I do is going to be interesting because Yellow has a real testimony. This is a dude that went from world class record crew to N.W.A. to producing porn. He produced porn in the same room I'm sitting in right now. In fact, you want to hear some real shit? The chair I'm sitting on, he bought it to shoot porn in. That's how. That's how this shit goes around here. It's been sitting back in the studio, and we took the legs off of it. It sits real low, and I'm sitting on it right now. I probably, if a girl sit on the thing, she might get pregnant. But I've had it cleaned a few times. Don't trip. But this chair, right? This couch, this love seat I'm sitting on right now It's probably the last remnant here in the studio, outside of the walls being painted multiple colors from his era of his life in porn. And he did all that to turn his life around. And now he's a born again Christian. He talked about being homeless for a while, talking about all the success he had, all the failures he had. And that takes a whole lot for a man to open up like that. Okay? Takes a whole lot. I'm looking forward to reading the book. I hope y'all support him on the book. I never forget when I went to Yellow's church. He apologized to me. He apologized to me for the whole congregation. And I'm like, what? I didn't know you was mad at me, but it is what it is. People may be holding things that they're holding against you, but at some point in time you let it go. And we've been pretty cool ever since then. I'm looking forward to reading this book. Tiny T messed up when he said Dre told him only call him if it's an emergency. Let me tell you, that you grew up with, and trust me. Since Dre has announced this, him and Jimmy opening the school up, I've had 5 people try to get me to get to Dre to talk about this school situation. Sometimes some things seem straight, some things don't seem too straight. But I know how he operates on certain things, and I have a way of contacting him. But unless I know it's something solid, I probably won't even exercise it because I know I've seen that situation before, and it kind of it can be really disheartening to have somebody that you've done so much for don't look your way when And I understand. I don't understand. Fuck that. I don't understand. Some shit. Sometimes some people just need to say, hey, man, what's happening with you? What you got going on? Simple as that. Not everybody. I'm not that kind of cat. I don't jock people. I'm not a jocker. I'm not a nut rider. Maybe because I'm not a nut rider. That's my problem. But some people, hey man, if you need something, holler, and holler if you don't. And that's how I do people. Man, call me if you need something. Call me if you don't. But I'm a different. I come from a different school, so it is what it is, folks. I'm here every day. I'm here Tuesdays and Thursdays at 6:00. I don't get paid for this, but I was taught to be on time for shit. Was you getting paid or not? Be on time. That's just some old school shit. What can I say? That ain't taught no more. That's why I like doing these shows. Even if my guests don't make it or forget, whatever the case may be, I could talk for another 2 hours just on miscellaneous life and bullshit. I've done it before. So I guess he must have forgot. Might have fell asleep. He's in New York, and he's in New York, and he's 3 hours behind me, ahead of me, I should say. And so did he fell asleep early? I don't know, but it is what it is. Tell us about West Coast record distributors and why it was important at the time to join forces and do that. Ooh, that's a good question, man. That's a good question. Now, if you read my book, if you got my audio book, you probably know some of this already. Macola at that time had gotten in partnership with some folks that everybody wasn't feeling. Macola had become the pass-through spot. You get to Macola, get a record on K-Day, go and get you a deal to make the record group. Got to deal with the major first, came back, and I had to turn off lights was there, and there was a lot of stuff going on, and me, Unknown, Rudy from the Lay Dream Team, and Egyptian Lover, we all had our independent labels, and because I had already had experience dealing with independent distributors through my bootlegs and other stuff, I knew a lot of these guys. And me and Adrian Gregory, yes, that Adrian Gregory from Tupac. Adrian was my assistant at the time, I was his mentor. We drove down to San Diego to a convention called NARM, National Association for Record Merchandisers. They hooked up every I think it was January, in Palm Springs. We rolled out there and we sat down with every distributor and asked them would they buy from us. They said, yeah, we'll buy from you. They don't care. You got a hit record, they don't care. And we only had one problem, and that was pressing. We went to Steve at Rainbow, I forgot his last name, Steve Sheldon at Rainbow. He gave us all a $25,000 line of credit. No credit reports, no credit checks, no hold no money here, none of that right there, all based on our sales potential. So collectively, we had about 100 grand worth of credit. It was important we did that because at that time, independent distribution was the only way you was going to have a chance to sell records in this country. It was hard because the majors was locking down. They was picking up everything that you had, but everybody didn't want to be a major. We understood that the majors deals was not that great. I mean, you walk into a record deal, you own 100% of the record, the publisher, and the writers. You own 100%. When you walk into the office, when you sign that contract, you just gave up 90%. Sometimes 95, 96% of what you own, you gave it away. We couldn't fathom that. We've been spoiled. We getting $5 on a no, $6, $6 or $7 on an LP, and $8, $9 on the CD. So how do you tell me you're gonna give me $1 now? I'll sell 10,000 of these things and still make 100 grand. So when we had the opportunity to create something, we all were businessmen. We all had hit making potential. We all had made hits. So the distributors knew our labels. The independent distributors knew our labels. They knew we knew how the game go. You got to keep something in the pipeline and be prepared for returns because they're gonna come back no matter what. And we put that together, man. And like I said, the first year we made $1 million. We had Rodney O and Joe Cooley. We had the Compton compilation. We had JJ Fast Supersonic. We had King T's first project. We had projects by Egyptian Lover, and it did good. And we set the blueprint for other companies to try and duplicate what we did. But they had one problem. Their problem was it wasn't based around hit makers. Other labels tried to get together and form their own distribution network. They didn't have the hit makers to try to drive it. And that's what made our thing successful. What made our thing blow up? Got a bunch of egos. We didn't do nothing back then that y'all didn't do now. We just didn't do it on social media. Bunch of egos. Lonzo was tripping. Egypt was tripping. You know, Unknown always been cool. He just left my house 10 minutes before I did the show. Rudy was cool, but Rudy and Egypt got into it, and me and Egypt got into it. And it was just, you know, egos would start flying around, and we just decided to fold the business. Simple as that. We didn't need each other, and that's what we didn't think we needed each other. Okay, you had 4 successful individuals who didn't think they needed each other. They actually really did. Because we just stayed together for the year. Somebody gave us $5 million for the company. That's true story. Real talk. I'm buying your book next. Save an autograph for me. Audio for me. You got it, Doc. No problem. I appreciate it. What else happened was popular in LA other than Soul Train before hip hop? Man, before hip hop, LA was really a cool place for hip hop and gangbang. LA was a cool place. Now, we always had gangs. Don't get me wrong. We always had gangs. But gangs they weren't the dominant force they became over the years. In the 70s, that was my heyday. In the 70s, I was in high school. All right, 70s, I was in high school. I'm locking. I'm trying to be like Don Campbell. I'm trying to be on Soul Train. I'm trying to do all the things that was hot at the time. Soul Train gave us something that we don't have no more. And we do have it, but it's just guided, it's being misguided in a different way. Soul Train taught us how to dress. Y'all got the BET Awards. They showing y'all how to dress too. They showing you how to put on a dress. Exactly what they're showing you how to do. Okay? That's the difference. Our imagery was controlled by of the black men. Don Cornelius was a hero of mine. I mean, I love what he did. The Soul Train started from nothing and built it up to make it with a worldwide legend. Um, he had Barry Gordy. And when I got to the music business, I met cats like Joe Busby and Larkin Arnold. And you had all these black men that was doing big things in the music industry. So I was my standard, okay? And they wouldn't let me do anything stupid. Because if I did, I had to answer to these guys. You know, you've been in Hollywood and, go to a Motown building and there's an executive, and if he knows you or knows what you've done, he might jam you up. We had conventions back then. We had the BRE convention, Black Radio Exclusive, that was always in the Universal Hotel. Everybody would be there. Everybody would be there. This is before hip hop, man. This is before hip hop. Then we had Jack the Rapper convention that would be in Atlanta. Again, everybody would go to Jack the Rapper, and it would be a big 3-4 day party in Atlanta. Wasn't nobody fighting, wasn't nobody tripping, or nobody's labels wasn't fighting. You didn't see Motown fighting, Stacks. It wasn't no tripping like that. But when hip hop came along, all that stuff kind of fell to the side, man. Because when you got, first of all, 100, y'all want 100? I got 100. Okay. When you got a hotel, white hotel for the most part, owned by white folks, and it get taken over by a bunch of black folks, white folks ain't coming that day. Okay. If something happened to that hotel, and that people plan on coming back to the hotel the next week, they might not come to that hotel. They don't know what's happening, so that's gonna hurt business for a minute. And if you better hear about it in LA, but it's damn sure gonna make the news in Atlanta or whatever city that is. Okay? And you got situations like this happening. You got big events, big hotels, you got big conventions that's starting to have problems that you never had before. In the beginning, we didn't have no problems. The biggest problem might be somebody get drunk and jump in the pool with their clothes on. Somebody might get drunk and get caught having sex in the elevator or something stupid like that. What in violence? Violence changes everything. Violence changes, and people expect people to do dumb stuff. People get drunk, people get horny, they start want to get some attention. But when violence comes into the game, whether you drunk, sober, or whatever the case may be, drunk, sober, or mad, it changes everything. And when hip hop came into the game, that's when you stop seeing all these events and award shows. Even Source Awards. Nobody gonna. Who want to book that? Who want to book that? You got the BET Awards now, but again, that's something that just came about the last 10 years. A lot of stuff people stopped doing because it stopped being safe. Did I know Augie Johnson? Yes, I did know Augie Johnson. Augie Johnson, Side Effect. Yes, I did. He cool brother. Had the cleaners right there on Crenshaw, and in the 60s or 70s, he was in the Rolling 60 hood. Yes, Augie was a regular cat. He hung out at all the same clubs I did. He was a little older than me, but yes, Side Effect. I knew Augie very well. Okay. Is it related to you or something like that, or what? He wasn't a real popular name. You must know him from something other than Side Effect albums. He was a player. Let's get good game going. Let's get the good game going. Lonzo always spitting IZM. What's IZM? I ain't hit to that one yet. Ism. Okay. And dude, today I was going to the store. Another older brother walked up on me. Hey man, how you doing, dude? And I didn't really know him. He introduced himself to me. Yeah, man, I watch your show sometime, dude. And I really appreciate you dropping knowledge on the youngsters that we know. Okay? To see what we as grown men, as triple OGs and double OGs experience is a whole lot different from what y'all experience in y'all age. By the time y'all get to our age, if y'all make it, man, because they saying that, a lot of black men ain't making 60 like they used to. Okay? Things are gonna be a lot different. It's gonna be a lot different. And he was just giving me a pat on the back for attempting to drop some knowledge on these youngsters on this platform. So I much love to you, Doc. I appreciate that. And anybody that's watching, anybody that's listening, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I need some water. Hold on, man. Hold on. Thank you. I need some. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. So look here, folks. It's been about 30 minutes, 37 minutes. I almost did a whole show by myself. My boy didn't make it, but that's all right, man. I still had time to kick it with y'all this afternoon, this evening. I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna wrap this show up right quick. I'm gonna go get dressed to go to this other event. I should have been dressed for already. But I want to thank all y'all for sitting here kicking it with me. Kicking it with me for the last 37 minutes. Waiting on my guest. I'm gonna roll him up tomorrow. I'm gonna get him back. But he's a very important cat. The Universal Hip Hop Museum is a major situation going down in New York, Brooklyn, New York. Yes, Wrecking Crew will be a part of the Hip Hop Museum. Clientele is on the board. Curtis Blow is one of the ambassadors, and they definitely have a West Coast. They definitely have West Coast representation on the Universal Hip Hop Museum. I was trying to get my boy on here. He probably gonna have a good reason why he didn't make it. I'm not mad at him. And sometimes you gotta let that go, man. If you can't hold it against a person because something else came up, and my phone is right now. He might be texting me right now. But my phone is on the charger, so the lines of communication is temporarily frazzled. So that's okay. He didn't make it, and we're probably gonna get back together at a later date, make it happen. In the meantime, folks, I want to thank all y'all for dropping in and kicking me for the last 37, almost 40 minutes now. So, in the meantime, folks, this is Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. Like I say every week before I go off West Coast to the East Coast and everything in between, folks, you're live with Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. Thank y'all for hanging out with me, folks. Be back Tuesday, God willing. Peace.